Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 27th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see we got some low clouds moving around the area here. You can see it sliding down the Sacramento and the San Joaquin Valley. You can see it butt up against the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. Kind of interesting there. But what we got going on here is we got some high pressure that's going to build across the Great Basin, the interior portions. We're going to turn things offshore, and we're going to get pretty darn right warm here across much of the state of California. So we're going to dive into some of those details and take a look at why that is happening, what kind of winds we can expect as well. We'll also take a look at the extended forecast to see when some of the precipitation might start to return. But if you want a nice affordable home weather station, this one is great for the price. Does everything a weather station should. Ultrasonic anemometer, all solar powered, very easy to set up, stores the data for you in the cloud. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. So look at this. Along with some wind advisories, some high surf advisories for some of the coast. There's Point Conception. We got a heat advisory out there. So yeah, it's going to get fairly warm. I mean, we just came out of summer, so I don't think that it's really going to be too much of a shock to the system for many people out there, but it's well above normal for this time of year. Let's go from 10 a.m. Tuesday to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Just thought that was interesting. Now let's take a look at what is going on here. So we got California to the upper right, Hawaiian Islands bottom left. We're looking at the Pacific Ocean and mean sea level pressure here. So this is the pressure right down here at the surface where we live. And if you notice something right away, look at that high pressure here as we go on in through Monday night. And you can see it really build across the Intermountain West. Of course, the airflow wants to go from high to low. So we're going to get some offshore winds, and that's what's going to help warm us up. Very deep low moving up towards the Gulf of Alaska and Southeast Alaska. But yeah, we're going to have those offshore winds in the meantime. Some pretty comfortable weather here coming up, and all things considered, pretty nice across much of the state of California. And then we've got another round of high pressure that might move across some interior portions. Probably not quite as strong winds with that one, though, as we go through this week. And then as we go through the extended forecast a little bit, it's going to give you a little bit of this here. And you can kind of see some systems moving into the Pacific Northwest may start to clip northern zones. And what happens after that, who knows? We'll continue to watch back on that daily, though. Now, looking at 925 millibars, or about 2,500 feet up in the atmosphere, this is the state of California. And you can see the winds northerly down the coastline. We got some north winds down the San Joaquin Valley, Sacramento Valley. And as we go on into the day today, you'll notice this wind start to turn a bit offshore. See it come across some of the Sacramento Valley and San Joaquin Valley, pushing out over the Bay Area, some of the coastal range there as well. So this is going to be kind of a compressional wind coming off some of the higher terrain, and you can really see it ramp up as we go through tomorrow morning across Southern California. Look at these offshore winds. Northerly here across some of the desert areas, turning northeast and easterly across Southern California, and that will indeed warm us up. And we scroll all the way on into the 60-hour period. You can kind of see these winds continue possibly on in through Wednesday with some of that offshore flow remaining in place and giving us our nice warm weather. So if we take a look here at 2-meter temperature, we're going to look at the diurnal cycle here. That's as we warm up through the day today on Monday, and then we cool down in the overnight hours. Then we warm back up here again a bit more here on Tuesday. You see Southern California getting pretty warm there across much of the region. We go through Tuesday night and back into Wednesday, and again the diurnal cycle, the cooling down during the nighttime and the warming back up during the daytime. Now looking at 80-meter wind speeds, I zoomed in on Southern California here. So right now things are still fairly westerly, northwesterly across some of the coastal regions. But when will that wind shift take place? Well, it kind of starts to shift a bit out of the northeast as we go through late tonight, and then as we go on into the day tomorrow, you can kind of see things out of the north and east and out of the east. The winds are not too strong, so we're not looking at big damaging gusts or anything like that, but it is a Santa Ana wind event, and it will warm things up, as you saw with that heat advisory and some of the northeast winds coming across portions of San Bernardino County as well. Now, 850 millibars are about 5,000 feet. If I put this into motion with that, high pressure system, it's pretty chilly there across the Intermountain West. But by the time this air pushes out and comes down the higher terrain, it's compressing and drying out and warming. It's pretty darn right warm by the time it gets out across the state of California. So that's why we are getting these nice toasty conditions across some of the region as we go through the day Tuesday and probably on in again through the day on Wednesday. Now, if we look at that high pressure here, one more look at it, and you can see the high pressure build up as we go through the day tomorrow, and that's kicking those offshore winds. Little bit of that troughing here in response to that high pressure coming across the Great Basin. Now, total precipitation in inches. We're going to scroll through the 6-day period here and just a little bit of some residual precipitation. Very early, it might have already fallen, actually, looking at that. And then as we scroll on in towards the end of the weekend, just starting to clip northern zones there as we get a little bit more active into the Pacific Northwest. We'll be watching that, and we'll kind of look off into the future over the next few days to see when the more active weather may return here to the state of California. And 6 to 10 day above normal continues through the first week of November, and some near normal signals showing up there. We don't put too much stock in this just yet. Check out the Patreon page if you like as well. Hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Oh, yeah, when we're approaching 50,000 subscribers. So go ahead and click on that, and let's see if we can get the channel above 50,000 here over the next couple of months or so. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.